Hello. For decades, we doctors have told our patients, especially those over 60, to eat more fish. It's supposed to be the key to a healthy heart, a sharp mind, and strong bones. But what if I told you that some of the most popular fish sitting in your grocery store's freezer could be quietly doing more harm than good? What if a choice you're making for your health is secretly contributing to joint pain, memory fog, or even putting a strain on your kidneys? This isn't about fear, it's about facts. Today, we're going to set the record straight with a doctor's perspective, because your health in your golden years is too important for guesswork. My name is Dr. Robert Clark. For over 30 years, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of seniors navigate the unique challenges and opportunities that come with aging. My practice isn't just about prescribing medication, it's about building a foundation for a long, vibrant, and independent life. And one of the most common topics that comes up in my exam room is diet. Specifically, fish. The common wisdom says eat more fish, but it stops there. The crucial details are left out, and that's where the danger lies. You see, not all fish are created equal. Some are packed with industrial contaminants. Others have an inflammatory profile that can make arthritis flare up. And a few are so high in heavy metals they act as a neurotoxin, especially for a mature brain. The good news is, you have the power to choose. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 fish you should absolutely avoid, and more importantly, the 4 wonderful, healing fish that I recommend to my own family and patients to help them feel younger, stronger, and more clear-headed. Let's start with the fish to leave off your plate. The first one might surprise you because it's everywhere, and it's incredibly affordable: farmed tilapia. I had a patient, a wonderful gentleman named George, in his late 70s. He was doing everything right, walking every day, managing his blood pressure, and he'd switched from red meat to what he thought was a healthier choice: baked tilapia 3 times a week. Yet, he came to me complaining of worsening pain and stiffness in his knees and hands. He was frustrated, feeling like his efforts were for nothing. When we dug into the details, the tilapia was the red flag. Here's the medical reason. Most farmed tilapia is fed a diet of cheap corn and soy, which is not what they would eat in the wild. This unnatural diet drastically changes their chemical makeup. It makes them very low in the protective, anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids we want, and dangerously high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. Think of it this way: omega-3 South are like the firefighters in your body, putting out the small fires of inflammation. Omega-6 South, in excess, are like throwing gasoline on those fires. For someone with arthritis, like George, eating farmed tilapia is like taking a match to an already sore joint. We swapped his tilapia for a different fish, one I'll mention in a moment, and within 2 months, he reported a significant decrease in his daily pain. So I have to ask you, have you ever felt more achy or stiff after a meal you thought was healthy? It's worth considering the hidden inflammatory triggers. Instead of tilapia, I often suggest a temporary switch to something like Pacific cod while we wait to talk about the truly great options. The second fish to avoid is king mackerel. This one is a serious concern, and it's a warning shot directly from the brain. King mackerel is a large, predatory fish that sits high up on the oceanic food chain. Because of this, it accumulates a very high level of mercury. For a younger person, a small portion once in a blue moon might not be a major issue. But for those of us over 60, our bodies are different. Our kidneys and liver, the body's natural detoxification systems, don't clear heavy metals as efficiently as they used to. This allows mercury, a potent neurotoxin, to build up in our system, where it can wreak havoc on the brain and nervous system. Let me tell you about Margaret, a patient I saw last year. She was a sharp, witty woman of 82, but her daughter brought her in because she was experiencing subtle but frightening memory lapses and a new, slight tremor in her hands. We ran a battery of tests, and I was shocked to see her mercury levels were dangerously elevated. After a long conversation, we discovered she had been eating king mackerel every week, believing it was a top-tier brain food. The symptoms she was experiencing weren't just old age, they were signs of mercury toxicity. The early signs can be very subtle in seniors: a bit of numbness or tingling in your hands or feet, trouble with coordination, or that persistent brain fog you can't seem to shake. It's a tragedy when someone thinks they are protecting their mind, but are instead consuming something that harms it. The FDA has clear warnings about this fish for a reason. Please leave the king mackerel in the sea. Have you or a loved one ever struggled with unexplained cognitive symptoms? It's crucial to look at every potential environmental and dietary factor. The third fish on my avoid list is one that's very popular in the southern United States. But the devil is in the details: imported catfish. Specifically, catfish imported from certain parts of Southeast Asia, like Vietnam. I had a patient named Frank, a lovely man who enjoyed a classic fried catfish meal every Friday. It was a tradition, but for months he'd been plagued by nagging digestive issues, bloating, discomfort, and a general feeling of being unwell that he just couldn't pinpoint. We ran tests that showed his gut microbiome, the community of healthy bacteria in his stomach, was completely out of balance. The culprit, we eventually discovered, was his weekly catfish. The problem is that aquaculture regulations in some overseas regions are far less strict than here in the United States. These fish farms often use antibiotics and other chemicals that are banned in U.S. aquaculture to control disease in overcrowded conditions. When you eat that fish, you are also ingesting the residue of those drugs. For a senior's digestive system, which can already be more sensitive, this is a serious problem. It's like taking a low-dose, unprescribed antibiotic with your meal, which can wipe out the beneficial bacteria your body relies on for everything from nutrient absorption to immune function. This is why it is absolutely critical to check the country of origin labeling, or COOL, on the package. If you enjoy catfish, stick to U.S. farmed catfish, which is raised under much safer and stricter federal guidelines. So let me ask you, do you know where your fish comes from? That small print on the back of the package could be one of the most important things you read in the grocery store. Finally, the fourth fish to be cautious with is a staple in many American pantries: albacore tuna, often sold as white tuna. Many people choose it thinking it's a higher quality, healthier option. Let me tell you about John and Mary, a couple in their late 60s who were patients of mine. They were health conscious and ate tuna salad sandwiches for lunch 3 to 4 times a week. Mary was on medication for high blood pressure, but her numbers just wouldn't come down to a safe level, and it was a source of constant anxiety for them. During a dietary review, the albacore tuna stood out. Here's the critical medical fact you need to know. Albacore is a larger species of tuna than the kind used in chunk light tuna, which is typically skipjack or yellowfin. Because it's bigger and lives longer, it accumulates significantly more mercury on average, about 3 times as much. We've already discussed how mercury is a neurotoxin, but new research has also strongly linked higher mercury levels to an increased risk of hypertension. The mercury can contribute to oxidative stress and may make blood vessels less flexible, forcing the heart to pump harder and driving blood pressure up. For Mary, her healthy lunch was actively working against her blood pressure medication. I advised them to make a simple switch from albacore white tuna to chunk light tuna and to limit it to just twice a week. 3 months later, at her checkup, her blood pressure was finally in a healthy range. It was the missing piece of her health puzzle. Think about your own routine. Could a simple swap on the grocery shelf make a meaningful difference for your cardiovascular health? Now, I know that hearing this list of what to avoid can feel a bit discouraging, especially when you're trying so hard to do the right thing for your body. Please don't let it worry you. The purpose of this is not to scare you away from the fish counter. It is to empower you. Knowledge is the most powerful tool you have for managing your health. This isn't about taking fish off the menu entirely, absolutely not. It's about being selective. It's about putting the right fish on your plate. Because the truth is, there are delicious, affordable, and incredibly healing fish out there that I wholeheartedly recommend. These are the fish packed with those amazing omega-3 South essential vitamins and clean protein that can protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and keep your body strong for years to come. So let's shift our focus. Let's talk about the fantastic fish that you should be eating. Here's what I recommend to my own patients and what I eat myself. First on the list of fish to embrace is my absolute top recommendation: wild Alaskan salmon. This isn't just food, it's medicine. Wild salmon is the gold standard for omega-3 fatty acids, specifically the two powerhouses, DHA and EPA. Think of DHA as the essential building material for your brain cells and retina, crucial for maintaining sharp memory and clear vision as you age. EPA, on the other hand, is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatory agents on the planet. Remember my patient George, who was struggling with sore knees from eating tilapia? We swapped his weekly meal to grilled wild salmon. Not only did his joint pain significantly decrease, but he also told me he felt clearer and more focused than he had in years. That's the power of feeding your brain what it needs. When you're at the store, look for wild Alaskan sockeye or coho. It will have a deeper, richer red color than the pale pink of farmed salmon. That vibrant color is your sign of a healthier, more nutrient-dense fish. Second, and I want you to approach this with an open mind, is the humble sardine. I know they might not seem glamorous, but they are a true budget superfood. For anyone concerned about bone health, sardines are a powerhouse. Because you eat the tiny, soft bones, you get a massive, highly absorbable dose of calcium. But it gets better, they are also packed with vitamin D, which is essential for your body to actually use that calcium, and vitamin B12, which is critical for nerve function and energy production. They offer a complete package for skeletal and neurological health. And because they are small fish at the bottom of the food chain, their mercury content is incredibly low. Try them mashed on a piece of whole grain toast with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. It's a simple, powerful meal. Our third yes fish is Pacific cod. If salmon is the brain booster, think of cod as the clean muscle maintainer. As we get older, we naturally face the risk of sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. Maintaining muscle mass is fundamental to our stability, strength, and overall independence. Pacific cod is an incredibly lean, low-fat source of high-quality protein, providing the essential fuel your muscles need to stay strong. It's also an excellent source of selenium, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect your cells from damage. It's a clean, simple, and versatile whitefish that works beautifully baked, broiled, or in a healthy stew. And fourth, I highly recommend rainbow trout. This is a fantastic choice because it's one of the cleanest fish you can buy. Most rainbow trout in the US is farm-raised, but in a way that's very different from tilapia or imported catfish. They are raised in freshwater raceways that mimic flowing rivers, resulting in a very low level of contaminants. It's a wonderful source of potassium, a mineral that is crucial for managing blood pressure because it helps lessen the effects of sodium. It's a delicious, delicate fish that is easy to digest and packed with heart-healthy protein and omega-3 south. So how do we put this all into practice? For optimal benefit, I recommend my patients aim for 2 to 3 servings of these good fish per week. When you're at the market, look for fish with firm, springy flesh and a fresh, mild scent. And please, listen to your body. If you experience persistent symptoms like tingling in your hands or feet, coordination issues, or brain fog, it's worth a conversation with your doctor about potential mercury overload. Finally, a crucial word of caution. If you are taking a blood thinner like warfarin, Coumadin, or Eliquis, you must speak with your doctor before dramatically increasing your fish intake. The omega-3 south in fish have a natural blood thinning effect, which is normally a benefit, but it can interfere with your medication. A simple conversation can ensure your health is protected. I saw the positive effects of these changes firsthand in a patient I'll call Susan. For years, she ate fried imported catfish, and her cholesterol and joint inflammation were constant battles. We worked together to switch her to grilled salmon or baked cod twice a week. 6 months later, her joint pain had noticeably improved, and her LDL cholesterol had dropped 20 points. It was a life-changing result from a simple, delicious change. This information can make a real difference, and I truly hope it empowers you to take control of your health. Have you changed your fish habits after 60? What's your favorite healthy fish to cook? Please share your experience in the comments below. I read every one of them, and believe we can all learn from each other. And if you found this information valuable, please subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based medical tips designed to keep you strong, sharp, and independent for all the years to come. In my next video, we'll be tackling another confusing topic, which supplements every senior should actually be asking their doctor about. There's a lot of noise out there, and we're going to cut through it with science. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for your time, and be well.